Hi, I'm Peter Rose, founder of Longwood Currency Trading. Did you have fun making your last Forex trade? That sounds kind of trite for a educational Forex trading channel, but not so much. I hope you watch the whole video. It's always been my position, for me, that if I'm doing something that's not fun for me, that I don't enjoy, I'm not going to do it. And so these folks that are out there talking about the stress that they're under in trading and what a bad beat they had and all this other stuff doesn't really make sense to me. Now, I'm older and I've been across the falls a couple of times, so I don't sweat much. But I didn't sweat much when I was in my early 20s. I had fun, and I have fun in everything I do, or I don't do it. You know, as you know, if you followed my progress here through these videos, more than 500 of them now, I spent 40 years investing in real estate while I was spending a 33-year career as a senior software engineer, and I've been in martial arts for 58 years. I've done a lot of things, and they've all been fun for me. That isn't to say that they at times haven't been difficult or taxing, but they've always been fun. So if you're watching this video, I hope you're going to watch the whole thing, because I don't think that if trading isn't fun for you, I don't really think you're going to be successful any more than, you know, you could get a full ride scholarship to the college of your choice if you were a champion swimmer. And so you said, how difficult could it be? I flap my hands and I got to swim a lot of laps. I got to swim more laps than anybody else. Well, yeah, but if you don't enjoy that, then do you really think you're going to swim 20 laps every day or go to all these meets and stuff and to be an Olympic swimmer? I don't think you would. I know you wouldn't. So no matter how much you want to make money, if money is your fun, then you're dreaming about Lambos instead of dreaming about making currency trades. There's nothing wrong with making money. There's nothing wrong with greed. There's nothing wrong with trying to maximize each individual trade that you make. But whether you win or whether you lose, it's got to be fun. I talk a lot about averages, but the averages that I talk about are real averages, which include the outliers that you're not supposed to get if you follow your rules, because we're just human, and every now and then we're going to go, oops, 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 and we're going to take a really bad hit. Peter, how could you take an 8% hit? If you're asking that question, then you really haven't been trading for that long. That happens. And so, I mean, now that could happen in one trade, which this one was one trade. It could also be that you make 6.5% losses in a row. The discipline comes from understanding what your win-to-loss ratio is, and that you can afford to take those hey, Denny. Okay. Yeah, one of my neighbors driving by, watching me entertain myself. If you have a good win-to-loss ratio, you have to have faith that that ratio is based on good metrics, good statistics, good data. And then you're going to say, look, I'm going to take 6 winners and I'm going to lose 4 times. So the fact that I make a huge error, maybe that counts for those 4 losses. And you say, I have to really get disciplined over the next 6 trades that I make so that I can't lose. I'm not going to try to make that big loss back. I'm just trying to do what I should be doing. And the month may be negative, but maybe I can bring that negativeness down a little bit. I show up. Well, I love it. So I show up. I show up every day. And so my statistics are valid. depending on how I'm trading and what I'm doing, I can run between a 60-40 when I'm staging and building and all that other kind of stuff. Or if I'm just all in, all out, I'm 73 on the win. So it's basically 70-30 win to loss. 60-40 is tough. You can't afford to lose 8% if you're a 60-40 trader, because it's going to be really difficult to get that back. Your average win rate's going to have to be really, really, really high pip-wise, and you're going to have to really cut back on your loss factor. I don't keep track of my transactions. I'm not interested in what the individual transaction is, whether it's a winner or a loser, because I know what my win-to-loss ratio is, and so I'm not thinking about that. I'm looking at what am I doing on a daily basis. And when I'm not doing really stupid shit, like taking an 8% loss for the month and running that month negative, which affects the long-term goal of the thing, over long periods of time, I win 83% of when I trade. I win 83% of those trades. So I can look at my metrics and I say, geez, on a daily basis, how many dollars do I make? Not so much on the pip side, because the pips translate to dollars, right? And sometimes you might trade 3 lots, you might trade 10 lots, you might trade 2 lots. The percent loss against risk is going to be the same, but you want to know at the end of the day, how many dollars am I up or down? Because that's what gives you the positive month, not the pips, when you're trading variable lot sizes. So when I'm looking at me as a trader, I'm having fun, because in the long run, I'll do okay. So one of the things that I have to do when I'm working with somebody is, don't try to make $1 million. Let's just try to make 20% return and pay your electric bill. How about that? How about if you try to start with that small, easy, simple goal? Because if you can't do that, there's no way you're going to make 60, 80, or 120% a year returns against your bank. It's not going to happen. When you're looking at being happy, the only thing that causes happiness is to have confidence in what you're doing. And how can you have confidence if your P&L is all over the place? If you're not consistent, you can't be happy, because you're always trying to do better. You're always trying to make up losses. I never try to make up a loss. I make a loss that's gone. But I know, because of my long-term metrics, win-to-loss ratio on a transaction basis as well as on a daily ending basis, if I just follow my stupid, simple, easy rules and quit trying to make $1 million, I can make large returns against my bank. And anything over 20% in currency trading is worth striving for. Where are you going to make 20% on your money? Oh, you're going to play the stock market? You're really going to do that? Some asshole president of the company absconds with $200 million and the price of the stock tanks like shit through a goose the next day, and there's no way you can get out? Is that really the risk that you want to take? I trade the currency markets because it's large, it's safe, and I can develop rational metrics against the largest market in the world, where I can't develop reasonable or logical metrics trading in the stock market. You might be able to do that trading the S&P or the DAX or Bunds or something like that, because there's a consistency in those markets, but it's still fully determined by emotions of the people that are trading based on how they're reading the 10K reports. And that can be a complete turnaround just because somebody farts on the trading floor and bad news trades and it spreads and the market goes down 4% and your individual stock goes down 12%. It's insanity. I don't think that's fun. And you have to do too much study. I don't have to do any study on the currency market. I wake up in the morning and this is what I teach. The 15-second takeoff routine that we go through. Airline pilots have to go through their sequence of stuff. Is this on? Is this worked? Does this work? Does the flaps work? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, they go through their list after list of operating procedures. And so I have that. It's called the life cycle of a currency position, and it consists of 3 rules: entry analysis, position management, and exit methodology. I don't have to worry about entry and position management or exit methodology. When I get up in the morning, all I have to look at is entry analysis. And before I do that, I do something, and that takes like 15 seconds. But before I do that, I do something that's even simpler than that. And that's really the first condition of the entry analysis rule. Well, I don't have to do any study. I don't have to look at what the market did yesterday. I don't have to get in there and get a feel for the market. I look at the price action. If you're not having the success that you feel that you should be having, number one, if you're not having fun, then just get out of it. Go do something else that you're going to have fun doing. You'll make that money to buy that Lambo doing, but you'll be doing maybe pottery or corporate executive, or maybe you could do it as a clerk in a store. You just have to be really frugal with your money. But if you want to do currencies, send me an email and I'd be happy to discuss what you're doing currently and give you some guidance at no charge. It doesn't get any better than that. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I don't have time to run people through my courses, as I say in almost every video. I'm not trying to sell courses. I have a course, and I'll work with a few people that are willing to spend the money and take the time, 6 weeks, of me fire hosing the skills that you need to replace your job income. If you're not interested in replacing your job income, then I don't need to talk to you. If you're trying to make money so you can buy a fucking Lambo and put your ball cap on backwards and drive around like the rest of those assholes that you see, don't go take a class from them. That's not my goal. My goal is to teach you the skills that you can replace your job income, or at least significantly impact that replacement. And that's the fast track course, just 6 weeks, and you've got the skills to make 20% against your account. That's paying your light bill. That's all you need to do. I mean, you can't do that on a $1,000 account that we start with. It's going to take a $10,000 account or a $7,000 account, whatever you need to trade confidently that you have enough runway over whatever the margin is. You have a 10 grand account, you can trade one full lot. It's a 10-to-1 leverage. What do you want to do? You want to trade at 200 to 1 or 500 to 1 leverage? That's not fun, because you're going to get clipped. Have fun. Trade at 10 to 1 and make 20% on your bank of $1,000. That's what you need to have. That's the skill that you should have after taking that fast track course. Is the rules. Now, whether you're making the 20% or not doesn't matter. Do you understand what you need to do? That's my job as an educator, to teach you what to do, not to hold your fucking hand and listen to you whine when it doesn't work out for you because you didn't follow the rules. If you're incapable of following the rules, or you want to argue with yourself, then don't come and take a course from me. I taught karate for over 50 years in self-defense. People's lives depended on their success, my success at teaching them how to be a success. There's certain things that need to be taught, and you're being taught things that you don't need to know in order to trade currencies. You don't need to know how to trade multiple lot positions or fade by doing reverse staging or compounding or any of that shit until you learn how to trade. That's what I teach in the fast track course. I'm not going to try to sell you that. Send me an email. Let's just talk about what you're doing and how I view the process of a good, solid educational curriculum for teaching that, and why it's possible in 6 weeks to develop those skills. And then you say, no, I don't want to take 6 weeks, or I don't like you, or just fuck you. That's fine. At least you know. But if you're not willing to send an email and to investigate it, then go take a class from one of the guys driving the Lambo and see where that gets you. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day and have a great trading day.